Back to that mistrial now in the case of a deadly shooting near Catholic University, a case we've been following since 2023. Our Rafael Sanchez Cruz, he was in the courtroom. And Rafael, we have you right now. Can you update us on what happened today in court?
Yeah, Zoe, so in just the last hour, a D.C. judge granted that mistrial. It was due to a hung jury. Essentially, the jury of 11 was only able to reach a unanimous consensus on one charge. That's unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Look, I was talking to jurors just a couple minutes ago. They were really saying it was a difficult case. Let me bring you up to it. So a D.C. judge, Neil Kravitz, telling the jury this was difficult. Kravitz said allowing the deadlocked jury to continue deliberating would lead to a coerced verdict. As you might remember, Jaime Macedo faced first-degree murder while armed and attempted armed robbery, among other charges. Investigators have insisted that this was an armed robbery and that Macedo shot and killed Maxwell Emerson. But Macedo took the stand and said that the gun he had in his pants went off during a struggle with Emerson. So what happens next? This essentially means that the case against Macedo is reset, and now the U.S. Attorney's Office will decide whether they will retry the case or dismiss the charges against Macedo. The judges set a May 29th hearing to learn how prosecutors will proceed. Macedo's defense attorneys say they plan to submit a bond review and request that Macedo be released. And as I was telling you earlier, Lorenzo, the jurors are saying that essentially they don't believe that prosecutors presented a strong case. They say that they felt they were having to determine such a serious consequence for Macedo based on surveillance video. And they also had a hard time grappling with an idea that an armed robbery happened during a 30-minute period. They also had a message to Maxwell Emerson's family saying that they don't believe that this is a reflection of the good deed. It is assumed that Maxwell Emerson was trying to give Macedo money that day, and that this turned into a violent situation. So we'll have more about what these jurors had to say, again, after a very long case filled with controversy, a lot of delays, and finally having some kind of indication now that it's a mistrial, but not knowing how this case will proceed. Back to you.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks saw it ending this way because, as you mentioned, those deliberations went on for quite a while, and also that nearly 2-week break for the jury. All right, Rafa, we'll see how Emerson's family is taking this news tonight. Thank you.